I've never bought an Apple product and be like, oh, I hope that was like the right choice. You know what I mean? Never. Yeah. You know when you're buying on like some shoes and you're like, should I go with Hoka or whatever? And you're like, whatever, not totally sure. How was it? Hoka? That's how it's pronounced? I own them. I just couldn't remember it.
Hoka.
Anyways.
Not going on many runs, huh?
No, I go for walks, Keon. Anyways, I'm wearing them on set, dog. Slammed him so hard, dude.
Keon's corner coming in hot.
I'm just so frazzled right now from the slam.
Rock Nation, welcome back to episode 65 of the 505 podcast. Huge episode. Tim Cook himself has flown in from the Caribbean to hand us these VR glasses. This is the Vision Pro first on-set look.
Dude, I can't believe we're the first ones to
it's insane.
have our hands on
It's
these.
great to have you guys here, and I want to do the first one-handed crack from space.
Nice.
So
Get it.
We've actually taken this can into the galaxy, and that's just the first 99.
Just spilled
Sounded
everywhere.
good.
Spilled everywhere.
I didn't see it spill because I'm in space,
Right,
and so
it's
that
fair.
just went back down to Earth with you regular people.
Right.
So this is the version 1. Chase has on the 1.1.
I have the thin ones, baby.
And Keon
Nice.
also has the 1.1.
You got the Airs.
Yeah, I
Chase?
got the
Does the Airs.
Vision Air, yes.
Vision Pro Air.
You know,
This is crazy. I'm literally watching Game 3 of the NBA Finals right now, but I'm also podcasting at the same time.
wow, dude, convenient. Courtside?
Yeah.
No, I know you're in the nosebleeds, dude. Even in VR, you can't get courtside. You know.
Drake's actually right next to me.
Everyone
What's up, dog?
everyone was complaining
6.
these were so hard to get. Marquise Brownlee made that video, and he's
Right.
like, can't even get video in them. Well, yeah,
Boom.
505 pod, first ones.
Right.
You know?
Keon, how you doing over there?
I'm on my Jersey shit, man. Turks and Caicos, you know what I mean?
Jesus. You know, I gotta say, I don't know if mine are on. It's pretty dark in here. I just see
Yeah,
black.
dude, I'm just gonna
there you
take
go.
them off real quick.
Here,
Oh,
one sec.
nice.
Let me come back to
Yeah,
Earth.
coming
You know,
back down to reality.
It's funny. Costas is, which makes sense, looks very brand new. Like he's never used them almost, you know?
Oh, these things?
Yeah.
Yeah, Coast is actually the version. These have been used.
Wait, that's so weird, Braden. Like, I know you're good at crashing drones. I didn't know you were good at, like, crashing your
how did
fucking
you get
headphones.
into
Well,
Didn't.
they gave me, these were ones that were used by Tim Cook himself.
Oh,
And
we're
so-
the prototype. Yeah.
These are his
But-
personal pair, and I put a sticker on it so we would remember it forever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I can hear myself now.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You were
Spoiler
hearing-
alert, those are my headphones. Those were not the tight, thin Vision Pro things.
Dude, it's good to have you guys all back, though. Keon finally back with us, and we're doing a 30-day challenge. How's that been?
Well, dude, I saw a guy post a video that he tagged the podcast in about, he was like, yeah, I'm doing this 30-day challenge inspired by the 2 hosts of the 505 podcast. And I typed out, I'm like, it's funny. I feel like there's 3. And I was like, nah, it's so petty, dude. And I was like, typed out something else. I was like, oh, that's funny. Cause like there's actually 3 hosts. And I was like, nah, I can't do that. So I just liked it. So whatever your name is, I forget what it is. Fuck you. Just
Chase is here too, baby.
yeah, I just, I'm not making 30 videos.
You're not making 30.
No,
yeah, dude.
no.
Chase is doing other stuff, you know?
I'll take 30 selfies in 30 days,
Nice.
maybe.
We need to go actually fly the drones, though. I spent $350 on batteries because the last
So
battery...
you got 'em new ones.
2 new ones.
Nice.
Because
dude.
the one that I was using for the drone, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I crashed it into a telephone wire and then it hit a guy's car.
Yeah.
And that battery made it. But then I tried to plug it in yesterday and there was a huge hole through it.
Through it.
Just
I wonder if that was like through like something. Dude, what happened with that guy?
insurance took care
Oh,
of it.
nice,
Yeah,
nice,
not
nice, dude.
not my thing.
Yeah, I've been flying a little bit actually.
You have?
Yeah. It's fun, dude. I was ripping. So rusty the first time. You can't just like get right back into it. I realized.
My biggest fear is to get back out because the first time I flew it with Babin, it's like he's got this girl that's his model. It's him, right? He's shooting. Costas is there. Like first time meeting him, I'm like, dude, this is fucking Babin, dude.
Yeah.
This is the guy. And I fucking take off, and he's filming me for his YouTube. So I'm like, oh, dude, like
You gotta nail
I'm going
it.
on the
I got
YouTube.
millions of people
I
watching
got,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah, there's the whole world watching me right now. So I take it off, and the left trigger was slightly forward, and it just
Oh,
just
dude.
smacked the lip.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, and it was it happened. And I mean, how long did it take? 3 seconds before it just went to the dirt.
If that.
Yeah, if that. Broke its wing in half, and
Fuck.
yeah, it wasn't even cool. And then I was like, okay, like fuck, I'm sorry.
But anyways, okay. So how's the challenge going? You guys, who's winning? First of all. I mean,
Oh, for sure. It's not even a competition. I mean, Kostas has been literally waiting to the last minute to post a video every day.
Well, that's funny because I've been posting on both Instagram and TikTok, and somebody hasn't been posting on TikTok.
TikTok is glitching currently.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, he's having trouble.
So you're
Technical
posting at like
difficulties.
11:59 p.m. every day?
Yeah,
or
dude,
what?
No,
he's
dude.
sitting here like, oh, Fig, can you come help me film this clip? It's like 8 o'clock. I'm like, dude, people are waiting.
You got to sabotage him like day 29. Be like, I'm not going to help.
I'm not coming home.
Yeah.
No, it's been fun though. I'm excited because we got other rocks that have joined us. I think there's
Nice.
probably like 5 or 6 6 people.
Nice.
Because you guys are all slackers and not joining it, but it's been good. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to I haven't ever given myself a good old college try
Same.
with social.
Sure.
No, that's a lie. I did once. I did a vlog challenge we did I think we made 60 vlogs daily. So that's the most I've ever done.
That's a lot.
In a row, daily vlogs.
Zero growth though.
Zero growth. Yeah, we went up 3 subscribers. Every time it was the same 200 people coming in.
Yeah.
Just 200 every. I'm like, one of these is gonna pop. None of them popped.
All I gotta say is these kids think they're tough posting 1 clip a day. I'm out here posting 4 clips a day.
That's fine. That's fair.
And it's nothing. It's cake.
Kids chefing.
Yeah.
I will say,
impressive.
I was joking around with Braden and Keon earlier ago. This is the most consistent I've been on social media ever, and it's day 3.
Right.
But what I will say is me and Braden did a really good job of like planning out a bunch of video ideas
Smart.
and then going out and filming a bunch of B-roll and not leaving stuff till necessarily the last minute. And that's helped a lot. And anytime I come up with like a different idea or something new, I'll write it in my notes and just now I have a long list of like video ideas. And I think that for me was one of the hardest things.
Yeah.
It's trying to come up with video ideas of like, okay, I want to make a TikTok or an Instagram reel today, but like, what the heck do I make a video about?
Right.
Having those ideas helps that.
So are you going to try to lean into like instructional or like just like cool, like almost vlog type things or like a cinematic little mini piece or like what are you going to try to do them all? Or like, is it going to be...
I feel like we have these different buckets of helper content, and we've made it easy on ourselves and kind of made Tuesday just the tip day, just the tip.
Just to see how it
Just the
feels.
tip Tuesday.
Just
for a
the tip
second.
Tuesday, just
Yeah.
to see how that goes. And that'll only be Tuesday. So you're only getting tutorials on Tuesday. And that just also alleviates a day of like not even thinking about that. Keon's also putting the team on his back and giving us 1 pod clip a week to post. So now I only have to make 5 like,
Right,
hard
right,
videos
right,
a week.
right.
So that makes it a lot easier. But if you're doing this with us or you're maybe wanting to be consistent on social and you have a job like, most of us do, I can't make the video from like 9 to 6.
Right.
So I'm doing it the night before to be ahead of it and just kind of getting my talking head portion done like in the evening, and then kind of maybe messing around with the script for the next day
Right.
to stay on top of it. Because when I was doing just like throughout the season, if I wanted to make a social clip, it's just impossible.
Right.
Say I finished work at 7 that day or something, or 6 or 5, whatever. And then I'm like, oh shit, I don't have an idea. And then I'm like trying to think of the idea. And then by that time it's 8 o'clock and I haven't even scored it. And then I'm like, I'm not posting today.
Right.
And so that's the cycle that I kept being in. And it was what we were both in. We're both working all the time for other people and stuff.
Right.
So you need to figure out if you want to fill up the social cup, that's how you're going to have to do it. Batch it for sure. You're not doing it that's what the YouTubers do, right? They're doing it every day, but that's their only thing that they do.
Yeah,
Or the
right.
TikTokers or whatever. So that's not our whole thing.
I saw this TikTok. I don't watch a lot of TikTok. I saw this girl. She's pretty funny. She's probably really famous. I like don't know who she is.
Okay.
But she's talking about TikTokers who make a living on TikTok. And she's like, your whole job is to make TikToks and you're so good at it. And I love it. I buy the things you sell me. She's like, but I just ask, get the lip sync right. I'm like, that's so true, dude. It's like, if your whole job, like just fucking get the lip sync perfect though.
You can do that. Yeah, you can get that. You can get that.
Braden might be the worst lip syncer of all
So
time.
bad.
Yeah.
No, oh my
So bad.
God. Dude, Katie commented on one of Chloe's videos that Braden and Chloe made together, and she was like, I love that Braden's just making up his own lyrics. I was like, dude, that is one of the funniest, most accurate comments.
I don't know the lyrics to any song
That's so
except
funny.
J. Cole, No Role Models. Go
Sure.
start to finish, dude. Load the chopper, let it rain
Yeah,
on me.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah,
whole
dude.
9 yards. I
Yeah.
got the song down, but that's the only song. Literally, any other song, everyone's like, "Oh, dude, they love really in tune with this music," and I'm just over here like,
Yeah.
that's all I got in my head. It's just
Yeah,
like,
you got the beat though.
well, I'm
thinking
thinking about the beat to cut it too. You know,
Right,
I'm not like
right.
listening to lyrics.
Right.
and stuff,
Doesn't
dude.
matter. Speaking of making videos though, dude, Genesis was like, we're trying to pitch them this big commercial idea, right? And they're like, before we buy that commercial idea, let's see it first. So tasked your boy to go in the studio. I just chefed in the stew with a light. I had an assistant, camera C70 ripping it.
Come on.
And I basically like, shot this little in-studio commercial thing. And it was fucking pretty cool. And I was pretty excited about it. And then just editing like that night, 'cause it was a pitch. So editing that night until...
You're right.
that could
Gotta
have been
keep
bad.
that. Gotta keep that a few feet away.
Yeah, editing that until like a midnight, right? Editing all night. And I'm talking to the new CCO, Chief Creative Officer, who's this really smart dude. I'm like, why are we doing this? You know what I mean? Like, you make decks, right? And then they buy the commercials based off the deck.
Bay off the deck.
And then he was telling me, he was like, I worked at Media Arts Lab, which is the ad agency solely for Apple. And he's like, and from 2006 to 2010. And Steve Jobs was so meticulous about the commercials they made that they would straight up full on make the commercial before they made the commercial. Like he was like, it was literally the exact same with a shittier camera and like slightly shittier lighting. And then they would see that and then he'd be like, only until it was perfect would he sign off on that to then spend $5 million to hire, you know, like people to make it, which is fucking crazy.
That
dude.
is insane.
So I was like the little grunt guy that made the commercial and I was like, well, how about you just like use me then?
Did it get bought?
It fucking did.
Come on, Chase, let's go.
Yeah, dude, I'm making people money, but
Big
not myself.
Talking about.
Also, speaking of Genesis and big dubs, you got props on a recent commercial.
I did. Yeah, the YouTube version's coming out soon, but I shot the Ender thing. It's this pig again, C70 ripping, dude. It's like Alexa 35, and that shit almost looks too like dream worldy sharp.
The Alexa?
Like, yeah, not sharp, but like. It's like too perfect, and then you get to the C7, you're like, that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? It's like that's that real shit, dude. Yeah, it's like
That's
it's like
that
the
creator shit,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. It's like, but dude, you would the shit like a real colorist can do with that footage. I was like looking at it, I was like, oh shit, that is the C. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. No, it's a shot of like it's like the Ender shot of this whole little ad, and it's like a pig, and it's like doing stuff.
It's coming out on YouTube.
That version is I shot like the subscribe screen thing. It's like 12 seconds long. That's coming out on YouTube. The rest of it will be on all the TVs near you. NBA Finals all over the fucking place.
We need to have everybody who listens to this podcast when it comes out on YouTube.
On YouTube. Hyundai's
go
YouTube.
comment. Wow, that end screen video with the pig, whoever shot that's the best part of the video.
Come on.
And you should have like
Just
100 comments.
Yeah,
100
yeah,
just keeps pushing
yeah,
it
yeah,
out.
yeah. That'd be great. I appreciate that, guys.
That'd be sick.
But yes, Apple fucking nuts, dude.
They've came out with one of the most revolutionary products of the last, let's call it 10 years. Can we do that? Is that fair? Is that fair to say? 10 years? I'm going to say it. 10 years.
When did the AirPods come out?
The AirPods
Those were life-changing.
Were probably, let's see, I was rocking them in college.
I was rocking
but not
them,
all of
probably.
college.
Yeah, it had to be in college. You have to be
2016.
like sophomore or junior year of
I would
college.
say
So
the
maybe-
last 5 to 10 years
Okay.
in that pocket.
Okay, so a revolutionary product that I have right in front of me, and I'm holding it. We have
I
two
also-
of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Two of
I got the thin
V1
version.
I
the
cannot
V1
believe we got our
prototype.
hands on two.
Seriously,
Thin version,
I mean,
thin
dude,
version.
and
Let's go.
ones that have been through it with Tim.
Timmy said he was only going to send us one.
Right.
Yeah. The thing is, though, guys, here's the deal. Okay, our good friends at Apple have came up with a lot of
Just
revolutionary.
looking at it like
No, I'm
he's
looking.
like,
I'm looking at it right here. I got it right
It's
in front of me.
incredible design.
I'm touching
It's
it,
incredible
holding it,
design.
feeling it.
Yeah,
It
what's
even
that build
came,
feel like?
It even came with the antennas. It's this time. That's crazy. It's one of the most revolutionary products. I think to get the best overall look at it, I would go check out a YouTuber named Marquise Brownlee.
Oh, I love
you.
him,
Should go
dude.
watch his video. He made a really in-depth 20-minute video, and it goes through all the specs, what it can do, how you can integrate it into your life. But we wanted to focus on the brand as a whole today and talk about these specific things on top of it. But they've done so many crazy things ever since they were born. And they've also missed a few times, which we didn't even know
Right.
Until we started doing some research for the show today. But I want to just ask you, like, when did you first get an Apple product?
I was first introduced to an Apple product. I believe I got an iPod Shuffle.
Nice. Yep.
And I remember first hearing about an iPod and thinking to myself, like at that point, I wasn't really listening to like as much music as I do now. It just like wasn't that big of a part of my life. And I was like, why the frick would you care about having like 150 songs in your pocket, whatever.
Oh, they were limited to 150.
Yeah, I remember
dude.
that, dude.
And then,
I was about it, though.
and like you would listen to like CDs like
Yeah.
in the car, or like a Walkman or whatever.
Oh, do you remember an iPod like video came out? It was just
Yeah.
like the top screen.
my
I remember
God. Yes.
watching like pirated videos of Entourage on that thing,
You
dude.
had to buy, each song was 99 cents.
Yeah, dude.
That
Yeah.
was crazy. Paying $10 for an album.
Uh-huh.
So then I got an iPod, and then I ended up getting my first laptop in, I want to say like middle school era.
Okay.
And like I didn't even have much to do on it. Like I don't even know if I had an email account or like maybe
IM
had
and
like
chicks,
a
that's what you were
MySpace
doing.
or something. Yeah, AIM.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
And kind of messing around with like video editing. But that was kind of my introduction into Apple. What about you guys?
Fucking shit. Yeah, I remember getting the iPod video, and then I got the iPod Touch, which was sick. Because I remember thinking like, oh, there's all these apps on here. And I really feel like, did those early ones, they had cameras on them, right?
I think so.
Think so, right?
No. I don't think so.
When did they put the camera on the
No,
thing?
it was just a silverback.
Yeah, because I remember when I got the whatever, I think I had an iPod Touch, or maybe it was my very first iPhone that had a camera on it. I downloaded this app called Camera Plus, and I could like do funky stuff with it. And you could like manipulate the settings, which I'm realizing now, obviously you weren't, but I thought I was. I kind of learned how to like expose a photo using that.
Nice.
Because it would like fake it for you. But like I learned that like opening that f-stop would like make it brighter and shit. And Camera Plus really like, that's like kind of what got me into all of this shit, I feel like. But yeah, I was ripping that iPod Touch, loved it. It was just like watching like whatever, like Fred on it and shit, like weird shit. I think I could get like adult videos on there, you know. I was ripping those.
Dude, I remember.
My parents going through the browsing history on my iTouch. I'm like, don't look at that, Mom.
Dude. Okay. I remember specifically being over at my buddy's house. It was like my friend Keon.
Oh.
My old buddy Keon, not this Keon. And my other buddy Nick, and we were sitting
This
around.
is so the kind of guy that watches porn
No,
together.
no, that's not where I'm going with this.
Let's get together. And
But one of us like had just got an iPod Touch or something, and one of my buddies was like, "Dude, I wonder if you can watch like adult videos."
you sure could.
And then he like went to a website and like the video actually played, and we were like, "What the?"
Yeah. Well, how old were we? We were in high school.
We were young, dude.
Middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like 8th grade. That's like the right time to be figuring that stuff out, right?
I don't even remember what it was. For sure an iPod Shuffle of some sort, I believe.
Yeah, those are dope.
Well, I think what's cool about this and all this info that we've looked up for you guys is you can take what this amazing, like one of the best brands in the whole world, the most innovative brands in the world is doing, and break it on a very, very tiny scale off for yourselves and kind of place it into your creative businesses. And so hopefully this is insightful, because I'm not making an iPod anytime soon, but I can for sure take a little note out of Steve Jobs' book and what he did for Apple and put it into the things that I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, they've become like, when you think of like the big brands that are just like so like recognizable and so like, oh, you have an Apple, that means you probably feel like this, or like, and you probably do this, and like they are so synonymous with a type of person or a thing that a person wants to be, right? And like not a lot of brands achieve that, and they're also just fucking ginormous.
They've taken branding so deep to where Keon and I were looking at a video on TikTok a few days ago, and they had done a study on people and shown a portion of people Apple products. What was the other group were they shown?
I think it was IBM.
It was IBM. You're right. Okay. And the group of people that were shown Apple, the logo, the Apple logo, they wrote that they were much more creative and they worked better on creative projects, which is just ridiculous based off of showing someone a logo. And so this branding is so intertwined into our society and so intertwined into everything that we do, the decisions that we make. And I think that, you know, this is, I don't know where I lost it. I lost that one. Somebody pick me up. somebody pick that slide.
Turnover, dude.
That's good. That's good. Picked him up.
You can talk about how it's like ingrained in your personality. That was like another thing the video talked about. Like where these brands are so powerful that it becomes ingrained in your personality.
Yes. You identify with the brands that you buy from, you know, and I think Steve back in that day, you had never seen the iPhone or any of the Macintosh. Nothing. It was unheard of, right? So you got this guy who's insane on a stage wearing the same thing every single time he performs on the stage. And he's just so talkative and so excited. And you feel the vibration of his energy about how he feels and his team feels about his passion for the project, right? And it wasn't even tangible. We didn't even have it in person like we do now, right? Like we didn't even have it in person like we do now. But you saw this man's passion. You were like, I'm buying into this Steve Jobs fella. I don't even know what it is that like I want to be a part of this history that he's talking about, and this change in culture and this change in tech that it revolutionized an entire industry.
And so much so, talking about how it's so ingrained into like our personality. I don't know if there's more a product that I'm bought into to where if you don't have it or you use something else, I look down upon
you. Oh my God.
What's the Dom Mazzetti quote? He goes, you go from green to blue, you go from a 6 to an 8 like that. That's so funny. That guy's fucking nuts, dude.
And there's memes about it.
Yeah.
All over the internet of like, oh, you have green text, like can't talk to you. It's crazy.
I still love you guys if you got green text.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
change it.
Tommy, shout out Tommy, dude. Yeah, but yeah, change it for sure. It would be so much easier group chats, dude, if you just figured it out. But I do think it's crazy that when you have a brand like that, like you were talking about, where you like look down at people that don't have it, which is fucked up, but hilarious. You
My bad.
pay more for that product, right?
Yeah.
And you're always willing to pay more for that brand name. And I feel like that's something that you can take away from what Apple has done. Be like, if you can create your brand, be like, that's a really quality brand. That's like, you know, they focus on the details, they focus on the perfection. You'll be able to charge more to whoever your clients are.
And at the end of the day, right, every creative person, you're making the same end product. It is this. It's a video. It's a photo. It's a design element. Okay, so it's the same in quotes, right?
Yep.
But what differentiates it is your process.
Yep.
They might walk into Chase's office one day, and it's the craziest high-rise building in New York, and I'm like, this is why we're paying $1 million a month to this company, right?
Totally.
This is the experience that we get. They got Fiji water bottles in the fridge. They're not messing with
Cucumber
Dasani.
infused, dude.
Cucumber infused throughout the bottom of it. Only at Chase's thing, and I think that. Yeah, I think that's good stuff.
Josh Allen out there.
2 turnovers on down.
I will say I saw a TikTok of this sales guy talking about what to say when someone gives you the objection that your stuff is too expensive, to say yes and instead of saying yes but.
Totally.
Because it keeps the conversation positive.
Right.
I feel like if you were to ask Steve Jobs, oh, this computer's so expensive, he would say yes, and let me tell you why it's worth it. And I feel like if you take that into your business as a creator, it's a more positive experience, and you'll be able to have more confidence in yourself to charge more for your work.
It's a great objection handler.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like kind of what you were saying, like if a client comes to you on like a smaller scale and like you said, like, you know, you're really presentable in the Zoom, maybe you have a Zoom background, dude. Maybe, you know what I mean? It just feels like, okay, this isn't a kid working out of his closet. This is someone that's done this before, that gets results, and like, I feel comfortable working with them. It's the same with the iPhone. It's like, I know, like, I've never bought an Apple product and being like, oh, I hope that was like the right choice. You know what I mean? Never.
Yeah.
You know when you're buying on like some shoes and you're like, should I go with Hoka or whatever? And you're like, whatever, not totally sure. How's it? Hoka? That's how it's pronounced?
Yeah,
I own them. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah,
it.
Hoka.
Anyways.
Not going on many runs, huh?
No, I go for walks, Keon. Anyways, I wear them on set, dog. Slammed him so hard, dude.
Keon's corner coming in
just
hot.
so frazzled right now from the slam. But it's like, you've never doubted that. And if you can achieve that in your photo and video world, or be like, oh, let's go to him because like he's never fucking failed, like he's always going to be good for us, then they'll be like, okay, let's pay him more money because I don't want to test it out on Joe Schmo and pay him less money because we know what we're going to get and it's going to be good.
And similarly, they're taking feedback off of every model that they've ever made. Anything that they've ever came out with, Apple has so many test runs of taking demographics of people from 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 10 to 15, and giving the product and saying, how do you like it? Play around with it. Like, how does the experience? What do you not like about it? What should be easier? What should be better? And I think that you can take that to your video stuff or your creative stuff, because every time you work with a client, right, the relationship isn't going to be seamless. You're going to have growing pains, or you might be like, okay, this person really values it. They want to see the revision at this day, or this is how they want to work on this process. So every time you're working with a new person, you're working with a new brand, you get to fine tune your product and your process, because the product it's me,
right?
Or it's like the team of people that you hire to help you create the product. And so every time you get to have the opportunity to write it up on the board and say, like, how can we make this better? How can we deliver it to them more efficiently? And if you take what they're doing and put it on your small scale and your design business, you're going to get better clients that are willing to pay you more and stay along with you for longer.
Dude, also adding to like Kostas saying how Apple would like validate the product being more expensive, it kind of ties into how you guys always say like provide value, right? So like all these tech companies are providing similar value as in terms of the use, but like the brand, that's extra value. Like you as a creator, okay, you're providing this similar video skills, but like your experience as a, like just in a work environment is like ups your price and validates the value going up.
And you're just like, your pride in the details of it right? Like there's this famous story about Steve Jobs who like right before the iPhone came out had it in his pocket. He'd been playing with like the prototype, right? And playing it for a long time. And he apparently like came into someone's office and he's all pissed because they had a plastic touchscreen back then. Like most of the touchscreens did back in the day, plastic. And he goes, people have their keys in the same pocket as their phone and the screen's gonna get all fucking scratched up. He's like, we need to change this before it went out. It was like about to go out like the next day or some bullshit. And they literally like went to China and like swapped in the glass screens. And like now it's obviously synonymous with Apple, like the perfect touchscreen. But like he wasn't okay with it. And like it's the same with video shit. Like if you're going through it and even if the client's like, this is great, but you're like, like that one frame looks a little off or like the color's like not perfect. Even if they're not calling it out, like they know that you care about that shit. And that's what makes it good, right? And that's like why they trust you.
And I think that's what separates the best. The best creators that you see. I think Sam Calder showed something a long time ago. He did this transition and he's coming out of a wave.
Oh, the best.
And when the camera comes down, it's like up in the clouds or something. You know what I'm talking about? And so he showed this tutorial and I remember watching it in After Effects. It's like fucking hour long, dude. I'm watching this and I'm like, this is for a second and a half.
Yeah.
And he spent 6+ hours on a
At
second
least.
and a half, and the devil's in the details, dude. That's why his travel videos hit harder, and that's why you were way more focused on it. The color's better, the transitions are better, the sound is better. You're taking more time with the meticulous things that most people are just glancing over, and that's what separates good and the great.
And it's because you care. You know, like, and Sam Calder gives a fuck, especially because like he'll do, I remember watching this tutorial and he's like, and now I'm going to add like this like real life motion blur to some things. And he's like, you probably won't even notice, but like, I got to put it in there. And I feel like musicians always talk about that when they talk about their songs, they're like, yeah. And then I added like this whole like synth layer that like no one can hear, but like I know it's there and I need it to be there because I fucking care, you know?
You brought up the iPhone though. And
Oh, yeah.
speaking of products that you wanted but didn't need, I need to share the story of how I got my first iPhone. So I was in 7th grade. The iPhone came out, and I'm sure like all of us did, we watched this launch event and we're just mind blown. Steve Jobs was like, we have a phone, an iPod, and a
Kept going.
an
Games,
internet,
email.
like an internet thing. And he's like, he said it again. He's like, we have an iPod, internet, and
Email.
a phone, all in one. Or it's like all in one. And then he's like, this is the iPhone. And everyone went ballistic. So I also went ballistic and I go, I need that. My school had a magazine drive, and the grand prize, if you sold 100 magazine subscriptions, you got the iPhone.
Sick.
And I said, oh, it's game over. I'm like,
That's all you guys had to sell.
oh, you gotta just give the kid a chance. Watch me go.
Just 100.
Yeah.
Cypress, we had 400 at least.
Whatever, dude. Anyways, so I go, Mom, I need to sell 100. I want this iPhone, because at the time it was like a ridiculously expensive, and a 7th grader isn't going to get a fucking iPhone unless you go to like private school.
Right.
So I literally went door to door in my neighborhood with my mom. She was kind enough to drive me around town, and I would go knock on people, be like, hi, I'm doing this magazine drive. I'm trying to get the iPhone. Like,
Bless her heart.
Can you like subscribe to a magazine subscription so I can get this? And some people said yes, and some people didn't. But I like the most anybody else did was maybe like 30 or 40, and I hit 100.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I don't think the school actually thought anyone was gonna like hit 100.
Yeah.
So they kind of freaked out. They're like, oh, we got to get this kid an iPhone. And I ended up getting one.
Fuck yeah.
go.
So you were the
Yeah.
first kid in your
Yeah.
school with one.
Oh,
and
dude,
like,
I was walking
you were like
big time.
Doing selfies. before
girls
it
are
was a
like
thing.
talking to you all of a sudden. You know?
Yeah.
That's
But it was
so funny.
also so funny because if you think about the iPhone back then, when you first got it, there was no app store. Like
No.
you couldn't really do much on it.
Right.
But what I will say is it was the first time where it had a pretty good camera, not anything that is out now,
Right.
obviously, but compared to what phones had back in the day, the phone quality, the pictures that would come out were actually pretty good. And they say like the best camera is the one that you have on you.
Of course.
And that really comes into play with having phones that have cameras, like good cameras, right?
Of course.
So I feel like me getting the first iPhone really allowed me to like play around and get better at photography.
Yeah, dude. Similar to me. I mean, it's crazy.
Those events, I feel like too, where you looked forward to them once. No, we're not doing that yet.
No, keep going.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he was so excited about
No,
that.
yeah.
No, those events, you looked forward to them, right? You literally, once it became a thing and it was in our culture of like, oh, Steve Jobs is doing these events. I'm like, dude, let's fucking lock in, Steve. Like, show
Right.
me what we got, man.
I literally would play sick to stay home to be able to watch these events. I think they're called the WWDCs.
That feels right.
Yeah. Anyways, I would stay home, play sick. I would watch the events, and then I would go back to school at like lunchtime or like the next day,
feeling
and all
better.
my friends would be like, "Dude, so what's good with the
Oh,
new
funny.
iPhone?" And I was like, "Oh, dude, let me tell you, this is the iOS
Puts on his
updates,
little
and these
TED
are
Talk.
like the hard drive updates."
Yeah, you were ready, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the iPhone is similar to like other things. It kind of brings us to the next point, which like they put out revolutionary products, right? Like everything they've put out, it's always like, oh, we didn't have that before. You know what I mean? And like even the new thing, like we have the Oculus, but whatever the fuck this thing is,
Yeah,
it's like
have it right
we
here.
don't know what it can do. You know what I mean? It's going to be doing something new shit. Like the AirPods, all of a sudden, Bluetooth headphones were like there, but they weren't like good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They kind of sucked. And all of a sudden AirPods are like, oh, this is what that should be. Like just connect
Just boom,
instantly.
seamless.
They're not connected to each other, which was fucking cool. Still is.
And I think our creators that we all looked up to when we were starting out, they all did this in their own little way. They all had a unique spin on something, whether it be a platform, a way that videos were being created. Like, you know, Casey started vlogging on YouTube, and the idea of someone doing a daily video log, not a thing. Unheard of, especially every day. And he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make this. Not only am I gonna do a video log, I'm gonna make a literal movie out of everyday content.
Well, I would say vlogging was a thing.
No, but
just
making
like
a cinematic movie,
Exactly like how he
no, that's
did
what I'm
it.
saying. Everyone's vlog was, hey guys, so we're doing this day, so we're going here, so we're going here, and he's
Right.
like, okay, I'm gonna set up 17 angles of me walking out the front door,
Right.
and I'm gonna have a drone flying over me, and it's gonna take me an hour to walk out the front door, but it doesn't matter because the shot's gonna be amazing, the movie's gonna be great.
And I feel like that's what Apple does actually, is like they see what other people are starting to do, and then they're like, oh, I can fucking destroy that and make it awesome. It's similar to like BlackBerry was out, right? You could email, you could message, you could call, you could
I
text.
had a BlackBerry, I
Yeah.
had the Pearl,
Wow,
dude, and they
you were-
came in and dominated that
Yeah,
shit.
and then Apple was like, "Oh, that's a great idea. Let's make it 1,000 times better." It's same with Bluetooth headphones, with AirPods, and like probably the Vision Quest thing is probably way better than an Oculus.
Dude,
So,
I
like,
was gonna say I wish they didn't make it, but they had to, because if they didn't, someone else was going to. So they had to just turn
Right.
up and take it over.
And I think you have to look at where the big brands are going, because they do dictate a lot of behavior.
Right.
And so saying, you know, a lot of people are going to be anti, I think, these headphones. I think it's going to be a very polarizing product.
the Vision thing.
Yeah, with the
You're
have
bought in though, huh?
No, I have it right here. Yeah, I'm already here. But $3,500 for
It's insane.
that's a mortgage payment for
Right.
most Americans, and so most people aren't going to be able to purchase them. And I'm very curious to see how eventually they're going to lower the price a little bit.
But it goes back to they're making products that you don't need but you want.
Right. I think it could be a thing with that fucking price tag. Well, no, it's kind of like so they're trying to compete
This
with
is
like,
a
the
shitty
computer,
car that I
huh?
got. This is a shitty car.
Right, my first
This is
car
a
cost
Corolla,
about
dude.
that
This is a
much.
Toyota Corolla sitting
Right.
in front of me on the
Right.
fucking suit.
Just slamming Toyota, dude. Fuck Toyota. But no, you're right. Like, it's about the same price as a nice desktop Apple computer. And are they trying to replace that? Are they just thinking the people that buy our products have a lot of fucking money and can use this? Or are they thinking like this is something that like offices like will buy like 4 of these and people can use them for shit, and you'll like kind of step in. You know what I mean?
But this is the thing though, right? Not every expensive product, because I remember I was in an advertising class in college and we had a brief of this brand, and someone said, yo, that shoe, it was a $200 shoe. And they're like, poor people can't buy that shoe. And the professor goes, you're wrong. If someone values it, they'll buy it. He goes,
Right.
what? It doesn't matter if they're poor. He goes, if they'll save up their $200,
Yeah, it's
they can
fucked.
buy that shoe.
I know.
You know, anyone can buy whatever it is that they want to buy. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be from a certain class to purchase this thing.
Right.
You could be of lower class, middle class, whatever. And I think if they make it good enough and they make it, you know, into everything that we're doing, and like, fuck, I'll be up in space 24/7, dude.
Right.
Just vibing in my conference room in Mars.
Right. I mean, it doesn't make a dent in the bank account, but like, still, I'm
feel
probably not going to buy it, you know, because it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
Goes tonight, day one.
Yeah. You both were just saw it and you were like, I need it.
I'm gonna be standing in line, dude.
You're so funny.
I'm gonna be standing in line outside. Right. I gotta make the first reel,
I
dude.
feel
I
like-
want to be the guy.
Sure. I feel like I need to see people loving them, people using them. I'll probably like, I'm not an early adopter, I feel like, unless it's like some camera shit, but like,
But you're a good
tech
guy.
stuff. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you. But like, I just feel like I need to like see the use case because I feel like I'm going to buy them and they're just going to sit there. You know what I mean? Or they're going to freak me out.
Do you both feel like, all three of us, do you feel like this could be a flop?
No.
I do.
So you don't, and you do. Why do you not?
I think that people don't use VR that much. People like Oculus has been around for years and only the nerdiest people use them, which I similar to Apple, which they figured out how to do that shit where they're like, okay, this is a nerdy product. Let's make it cool, which gives me faith. And Apple doesn't flop a lot. They have flopped a couple times, which we found out, but we had to fucking Google it because it's very uncommon. I just feel like it's really expensive. And I feel like, I don't know. I just don't know what the use case is really. Like I get that it's like a big screen, but like so is a big TV, you know, and like buy that.
I don't think we'll really understand it until we actually put them on and experience it like for ourselves. But going back to like how crazy of a big event this was, like their live events, they built community in their brand, right? Like if you get to go to one of these live Apple events and be the first person to see the new products, like that's a big deal. And I think about someone like a Sam Newton who's putting on events for his films that he's doing with Canon. I was thinking about how often it is that we consume content that other people put out solo. And I think if you can think of ways to bring community together, whether let's say you are like making a film of some sort, however big or small, like if you can bring together community to have people watch that together, I think that's super special. And if you can build community within your audience as a content creator, I think that allows you to have more longevity and
I think that there's something to that. I mean, especially with movies, right? Like there's a reason why seeing a movie, especially after COVID, seeing a movie in theaters kind of sucks. But like pre-COVID, when the theater was packed, it was electric, dude. And like I got to go to CAA for the Dungeons and Dragons like little screening thing, and like, dude, the guy that made Game of Thrones was there. It was fucking crazy. Anyways, fucking full theater. And I don't even know if that movie was good, but I loved every second of it because it was electric, dude. People were going nuts. Like everyone was so excited about all the little reveals and stuff. And like, if you can cultivate that in your thing, like, yeah, like showing your own video in front of 100 people that are super into it, it's got to be the most fun thing ever.
I also think on a, maybe not even in person, but the way on a much smaller scale is like, even if you're putting out YouTube videos, if you're putting them out on the same day at the same time on a weekly basis, your audience has something to look forward to and to grab onto. And also like you can set premieres on YouTube for your video. So if you are putting out YouTube videos, like if you have like 10, 20 people watching your YouTube premiere all at the same time, like everybody feels a part of that.
Right.
Even if they're watching it by themselves.
100p. Shout out our friend Jack Cook. Jack has 20,000 people every day that are looking forward to that daily vlog.
Yeah.
And he's cultivated this cult following of people who just love seeing what he did the day before. To do something that you love, right? And you get to turn it into something like that just based off of the community that you're able to build. I think we can all take a note. Or, you know, doing something revolutionary like creating the 30 for 30 challenge, right?
Yeah.
Like
Never been done before.
No, it never been done. It's like a first of its kind. And like that is something to cultivate community and get the people going.
Okay, you keep talking about these flops. I don't know much about Apple flopping. Can you give me some examples?
All right. So 1993 they made a thing called like the Macintosh TV, which is kind of similar, where it like did a lot of shit. It was like literally a TV that you could watch like Seinfeld on and shit, as well as a full-on computer, and it was black and it was sleek, because before then there were like these weird beige kind of ugly looking things. They made that. It was $2,000 at the time, which was way too, like everyone was like, what the fuck, that's
Probably
so
$6,000 now.
Yeah, right. So it's a similar thing where like, why the fuck is that so expensive? And it flopped. I think they took it off the shelves after like 5 weeks of being on the shelves. So
only 5 weeks.
Yeah, it flopped, dude. Yeah. I do think they do that. I think that if it's not good, they will take it down instantly.
They're like, we poured millions into it, forget it.
Right,
or Apple, we don't flop.
Because they don't want, exactly, they don't want that. And I remember like, even kind of sidebar, but like, remember Google Glass?
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be the
Snapchat spectacles?
Yeah. The Google Glass was supposed to be the biggest thing. And my brother was all into it. He was living in San Francisco. And then like no one talked about it a month later. And then Google was just like, get rid of that shit. I don't want to talk about it. And so they do flop sometimes, but very rarely. I mean, when you think of an Apple product, you think of like, okay, that product's going to rock. And you're not thinking of another brand. You're thinking either Apple made this crazy new product and it's good, and you're not thinking like, oh, maybe I should use the Samsung one. Never.
No chance.
It's just like maybe the product idea wasn't that good.
And I think what you can take away from that is like having the willingness to fail and knowing that you are going to fail, especially we're not Apple. We're not creating like these crazy products, but like we're putting out videos every day on our 30 for 30 challenge, and like some are going to flop, probably Braden's more than mine. But like you can't be afraid to fail.
We all know that's not true. We all know that's not
be
true.
afraid to fail.
I do like that. I keep just like putting the plane into space, and Costa just keeps landing it, dude. It's so convenient. I just like say some stuff, and then he's like, "Let's see, dude. I can get behind the pilot seat, fucking land this thing on the runway." So nice, dude.
Am I Sully?
Yeah,
Dude, when you're making one of the most innovative things ever, though, you gotta fail. Well, that's it. Yeah, that is one of the most innovative things. But no, like, yeah, let's talk about the most innovative challenge there has ever been. Like, dude, I'm gonna
cold water challenge.
Realistically speaking, I probably won't miss, but you are bound to miss like one of the days, or
3 for 3, baby.
You know, it's one of those things where I think that all those business speakers that you see on TikTok, they're always like, oh, fail forward, as they're saying, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the way I interpret that is you're throwing shit at the wall, you're seeing what sticks, because that's all you can do.
Right.
If you sit there and hang out, life's just going to keep passing, and people are going to keep getting better than you, learning more stuff. But if you keep just trying new things, and that's how I think I've been a successful creator. I never sat at home.
Whoa, I'm just kidding.
Doing his own horn a little bit too much.
Jesus Christ. That's a good one. I like that one.
Throw that into
Just made it up, just made it up.
Volume 2 sound effect back.
We'll get that one in there.
Link in the bio.
I'll take royalties. Anyways, keep going though. Sorry.
Oh, dude.
He's
back at it.
Risky when he's doing that. I get nervous.
Mike off the table. You guys got to tune into these
Fucking, I'm
YouTube
white
videos,
knuckling
man.
now, dude.
You guys got to make sure to subscribe, though. Seriously, 46 of you aren't subscribed, 46%. So get that. Go smash that subscribe button.
But
right
seriously, a Apple adjacent company, Facebook. When my brother was in Silicon Valley, his roommate worked for Facebook, and I got to go on a campus tour of Facebook, which was fucking nuts. But going off of what you were saying, they had written all over a few walls. It just said, "Move fast and break shit," and I loved that, dude. And that's what they're like. Let's just try stuff, and if it doesn't work, just fucking fail fast, fail forward, and move on to the next thing, and just like keep trying things. And that's so fun, dude. And it's like that's how you're gonna innovate, and that's how you're gonna make new shit that's cool and like revolutionary, even in your videos. Like try new shit, dude.
Think about your line in the sand. If you don't do anything, you're just sitting in the sand. But if you keep, you might go over here and hook a right, you change direction a little bit, but you're chugging forward along the path up the mountain. You know what I mean? You guys didn't like that one. That didn't land. Okay, fuck you guys.
I want like a button to push when someone's taking off the runway. Like, there's no way. I was like, if he can bring this back, dude, I'm gonna be shocked. I liked it though.
That's really cool. You got to go to Facebook.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That experience going to Facebook in person must have been really cool, huh? Similar to going in store to an Apple store.
Yes, dude.
The experience of going into an Apple store is pretty sweet.
Dude, they got all kinds of cool seats. They got moss on the wall. They got all the phones in a
Trees,
pretty
like
way.
trees.
Yeah, dude, they had a
what
tree.
it feels like a place that you would want to and be comfortable with spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you don't want to spend a lot of money in a fucking closet.
You ever seen an Apple store not busy? Jesus.
No, that's not true. But it feels modern. It feels luxury. It like walking in.
You ever just go kick it at an Apple store? You're not planning on buying anything. Just like, I'm surprised they don't like sell drinks there to like hang out.
Dude, that's so true. Like a little Apple cafe, dude.
already
Bro,
too-
if you got people kind
Already
of
too
lit,
busy, dude. It's already too busy.
if you got people kind of lit, they'd be like, dude, upgrade me, dude.
Yeah. Like the fucking Aime Leon Dior style, dude. In Soho, they got the cafe that you like good old coffee, and then you buy the $300 sweatshirt that's too small.
Dude,
that's the move. But you're right. Like again, it's creating that space that makes it feel like worth the fucking money, and it's really important to do that. And they don't have anything in there that doesn't feel premium. And it's similar to like, oh, dude, if you make a website, right? Like only premium shit. And then so people when they go on the website are like, okay, that video works. That's all feels nice. You're not seeing like, your spring break video from 2008 when they're like, oh, maybe it's not like this luxury like brand that we're comfortable with spending a lot of money on his video or her photo creation.
Especially if you want to work with the brands that are the big dogs, the big rocks. their experience when a customer comes to buy their product, right? Let's just say an Apple. Like if you wanted to work with Apple, like your shit better be on point.
You better
as
make
well.
a fire
Oh,
deck,
God,
dude.
yeah.
You better make a great deck, dude.
And you know what plate you're stepping up to. You know what I mean?
And I think all the little things that go into your brand that makes up that experience for the customer. Your website, your capabilities deck, the documents that you send. Dude, if you send them a document for the invoice and it looks terrible, they're gonna be like, are we even doing this thing with this guy? Like this guy's sus, you know?
Right.
So all you want everything, every touch point with the client should feel aligned from a brand perspective. And I think that you won't go wrong and you'll attract more business to yourself. Next up, we got user-focused advertising. Now,
Important.
Apple's advertising campaigns, they really do tend to focus more on the user experience rather than, the technical specs. And I think that before we did this pod, I asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, who were they advertising towards? Because I personally thought it was going to be wealthier people when they first came out, right? Because it's really expensive stuff, but they were actually more broad. And so they were advertising to a broader demographic of people when you advertise to a broader demographic of people, right? You might have people along this entire wave who some of them have no idea about Apple. Some are really in tune with Apple. And so you kind of have this spectrum of, okay, maybe half of them have no idea and don't care about the specs. So if we don't even talk about them, let's focus on what the experience would be like for all these different people behind our products. And I think that's how you get more people buying into it. It's not just like, oh, we got the 14 megapixel this. You kind of throw all that fancy jargon there and you turn off to some people. They're like, oh, I don't want to hear this. I just want to know, like, can it take good pictures of me and my family? And that's what will make me buy it,
And you're so right. I feel like Android on the other end, like, does focus in on
shit
their
on 'em.
specs, dude. Yeah.
The camera, dude. They love that camera. They really tell you about the camera.
But they always talk about like it's got this many megapixels, it's got this much RAM, and it's all about the specs, and that appeals to a certain demographic, a smaller demographic that likes green messages. But Apple is like, this is how it feels to use this, and this is how you'll feel when you're using it, and it's all about the feeling and the lifestyle around it. It's similar to like how we talk about Nike's never telling you like, oh, the technology in the shoes can make you run faster, jump higher, or whatever. They're just like, look how cool you'll feel when you're wearing these shoes, and look at these.
You'll be a champion.
You could be like Mike.
You could be like Mike, and look at the people that are wearing them, dude.
Yeah.
You have, like Giannis, Zion, dude. You could be holding a gun in IG Live, wear the Ja Morant's, dude. Dude, you know the Ja Morant shoe?
That's good.
Ja Morant shoe is still the highest selling Nike shoe. Not even close.
Selling.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
his
so
shoe,
they're
his
not-
shoe sells, dude.
Really?
Yeah, he's a superstar, man. People don't care.
I didn't know there was the highest selling one.
Yeah.
You're positive
More
on
than
that?
I'm not
That's
positive
shocking.
on that. I'm not positive on that. Look it up though. But
Keon,
I heard it on a podcast.
Get that going in the
Can you
corner.
look that up, Keon?
I heard
again?
it on the Bill Simmons podcast.
Yeah,
so.
is Ja Morant's shoes the highest
Nike of the Nikes.
of the Nikes? Okay.
It might be of the 4 basketball backed, like NBA player back shoes.
So
like,
Bron, Kyrie, no,
I
not
think
Kyrie.
it's
Bron.
right now. It's like
Dude, I feel like Kobe's got to be number one still.
No.
no, but current, like
I
current,
don't-
the current.
I don't think
NBA,
they're selling Kobe's
They're not
like
selling-
that
they're not-
anymore.
They're not selling.
Really?
Kobe's are only like secondary market.
The demand is like people want them, but they're
them,
like
yeah.
$700 on
on Goat and StockX and whatnot.
There's a. Oh no, Jesus.
You can make it. You can have a
I
made up
mean,
stat.
this says
I'm pretty sure it's real.
this says what is the most sold NBA shoe? Number 1, Nike Kobe 6.
That was back in the day, though.
I mean, it says 2023.
No, but I'm saying the players right now, dude.
Okay, you know
Anyways.
what? I'll let you have the stat.
Just no, just cut the stat, dude. I don't want to be lying.
Leave it in.
Anyways, all right, we gotta lay on the big plane now.
Yeah,
boys.
next one we got is, okay, next up is seamless integration and ecosystem. And I think this is something that I don't know of any other company that does this. The fact that you can pick up your phone and be texting and then open up your laptop, continue to text, and just all the other ways that like the ecosystem is incorporated. Oh my God.
I remember-
No, wait. What is the fucking thing? AirDrop.
Oh yeah, it's funny that you say that because I remember when you had this whole epiphany. Kostas was bubble texting me. He's like, "I'm getting a PC, dude."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm sick of editing on a Mac."
Stupidest shit he's ever
So
said.
he's getting a PC and he built. Did you build it?
Yeah,
I
out?
had a
like-
custom built, like
custom
$8,000 PC. I was like, it's game over.
And I'm sure that thing cut fast. I never used it, but he's like, dude, it can't AirDrop. He's like,
Yeah.
how do I get the videos from my computer to my phone?
No, seriously.
And he couldn't figure it out, and he had to sell it. He couldn't use it. Seriously.
And what I didn't put into perspective was anytime you get an Apple product, it's great, but the screen's also phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
If you build a PC, then you got to also spend
Right.
like $4,000 on a sick monitor to be the equivalent of what an Apple product comes with. And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm not even saving money.
Yeah, dude. And then he got the M1, copied his good friend Fig.
No, I actually got the M2.
Oh, you did.
Is that
Yeah.
even out?
Yeah.
That's the second one. The
This
first one got
is-
stolen.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Shit.
Digging deep, bro.
Deep, dude.
Hit me.
No, okay. And along the Seemless,
You think the guy that stole his backpack was like, fuck, it's Sony?
he's a Canon
I
guy.
thought I was going to have good color science after
Dude,
this.
come
dude.
on, man. You can use all of these different things though that Apple's doing on a really small scale with your creator business, right? If all those touch points, like I already said, should be, seamless and along the same line, but also there's other tools. They're called CRMs, customer relationship managers, right? And so what you can do with CRMs is, like if they emailed you, it'll automatically trigger, oh, this is the response that goes right back to them.
Right.
You could introduce them into a funnel where, okay, on day 3 we hit them with this. They just got onboarded. This is the onboarding video, and so you're kind of sending out all these feelers and new touch points for your customer or for someone that's buying from you. And now they get an idea of like, oh, okay, there's a really great user video about how we should integrate with the product, or there's a really great thing here where this is how we're going to upload all the content for them. This is how we give feedback. And so now you have this thing from the outside to this other brand that they know nothing about you, and you haven't even had to spend any extra time because you got all these great resources for this new customer that's coming into your business, because you're now shaking hands, you're joining teams and saying, hey, we're going to work together. So I want this to all feel and look really high quality because you're paying us a lot of money and we want to help you see the vision all the way through.
And the AI that you can do with that kind of stuff now, like you can literally automate it.
You can automate
As soon
everything.
as you hop off a discovery call, like it'll send an email,
Right.
Thank you for your time.
like all this stuff. You can
It's-
automate it, but it's seamless integration and ecosystem.
And I think nice.
He's just a pilot.
She's a pilot today.
Wait, can I say something about that?
Tell
or
us,
no?
dude. Tell us.
All right, so Coach is talking about ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's funny when people talk about like, oh, I don't want Apple stealing my data.
Right.
I'm like, bro, what
Let
are
'em
they
have it,
what are they
dude.
going to use my data for?
Right.
I'm like, take it all, make my life easier.
Right.
I want to log into fucking Hulu on the TV with my face on my phone, which
Right.
I do. And I'm like, that's
Right.
amazing.
I have this girl I know that's
Can you send me your Hulu account? I'm actually looking for
This
one
this
right
girl I
now.
know that's a stand-up. She's like, people are worried about like the government like taking from TikTok, and she's like, they already have it from when I downloaded a meme app to make fun of my sister in 2014, dude. Like we
Facts.
don't, and it's so true. They already have our
We
data,
gave
dude.
Russia all our faces.
Right.
The face swap thing.
Oh, dude, face swap.
We gave
dude.
it all. We gave them all our faces. It's great. It's perfect.
Anyways.
Perfect thing. No, yeah, we got to stop doing stuff like that. Last one that we got on the agenda today. We got storytelling within ads and marketing. Now, Chase, talk to me a little bit about what they do well within their marketing and within their storytelling.
I mean, I think it's interesting that even in like film school and when you were in ad school, like we all saw the first, I think it's the Macintosh commercial that came out in like 1984. We all, I mean, I've seen that commercial 100 times. Like people are always referencing it, and that's just the start of their advertising for their products, which is crazy. And it's about like how people are like become slaves to like technology or whatever, but they're gonna make it differently, and it's gonna be this whole thing. And like Andy Warhol directs it, which is fucking so cool. That acclaimed, like pop culture artist, painter guy. And so they've always had that notion of like storytelling or like personality or brand weaving in everything that they put out. And I feel like that's just how they have like accumulated like social well-being and like brand fucking power.
I'm sure they wouldn't sell anything if they just put on a board and said, "This is the phone.
No,
this is
nothing.
how much." No,
Maybe now.
Yeah, maybe
But-
now, but not at the beginning
No,
when you're
no,
trying
no.
to revolutionize a whole industry and get people behind the product.
And this makes me think about how last episode we talked all about storytelling, but leaning into what makes you unique and like building out your brand identity as a person beyond your art. Like have a reason for why people want to come to your page and watch your content or hire you to make them content.
You got to think too about like your personal story,
Right.
Because we're all so unique. We all have a different perspective. We all grew up in different places, different backgrounds. Like that's what makes you unique, And I think like we had a guy earlier in season 1, Skylar, on the pod, and he was talking about how when he came out to LA, he was homeless, and right, like he said at the beginning though, he didn't share that story, And so
Right.
once he started to share that story, other people started to resonate with it, and they're like, "Wow, dude, you're a really hard worker. Like you really want this. So like, okay, I'll give you a chance. Like,
Right.
let me hire you to do said said thing. And then he started to trickle and get more work, and it's grown his brand. And I think for the first, handful of years when I was making stuff, I wasn't doing anything about me. It was kind of like a fake persona that I had made up of like, this is going to be the YouTube person. And it was so hard to stay consistent with it because you're literally acting, you're playing a part of someone that you're not.
Right.
And so I think it's really important to lean in. Sorry, the Vision Pros just fell on me. It's really important to lean in to everything that you're about and like your background, where you came from, your ethnicity, like all that stuff, you know?
Yeah. And Apple did all that seamlessly. And I think that you should all try to too.
You guys all just need to take a little note out of the Apple Field Book. And this is episode 65 of the 505 podcast. Make sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys all next week. Peace.
Bye.